Good morning. From new AI regulations to a manhunt in Minnesota, today's headlines are packed. We'll also dive into the G7 summit's high-stakes diplomacy. But stay with us until the end, because the escalating conflict between Israel and Iran has entered its fourth day, shaking global markets and raising fears of a wider war. Ready for your daily briefing? Let's go. Now let's turn to a significant development in artificial intelligence regulation, as a new bill aims to increase transparency and clarify liability. Senator Cynthia Lummis, RWI, has introduced the Responsible Innovation and Safe Expertise RISE Act of 2025. This proposal clarifies liability for AI used by professionals like physicians, attorneys, and financial advisors. These professionals remain responsible for their advice, even when AI informed. AI developers can gain civil liability protection by publicly releasing model cards. These detailed documents must disclose the AI system's training data, intended uses, performance, limitations, and potential failure modes. This helps professionals assess tool suitability. Lummis emphasized, Wyoming values both innovation and accountability. The RISE Act creates predictable standards that encourage safer AI development while preserving professional autonomy. The bill doesn't create blanket immunity for AI, excluding protection for recklessness, willful misconduct, fraud, or misrepresentation. The RISE Act also mandates ongoing accountability. AI documentation must be updated within 30 days of new versions or discovered failure modes. While promoting transparency, the bill avoids mandating full open source models. Developers can withhold proprietary information if unrelated to safety, with written justification for the exemption. This bill emerges amid concerns about centralized, closed-source AI. Simon Kim, CEO of Hashed, previously stated, "OpenAI is not open, and it is controlled by very few people, so it's quite dangerous. Making this type of closed-source, foundational model is similar to making a god, but we don't know how it works." Now let's turn to a developing story out of Minnesota, where police are intensifying their search for a suspect in the shootings of two state lawmakers. Police in Minnesota have located the car of Vance Luther Bolter, 57, the suspect in the deadly shootings of two state lawmakers. The discovery was made in Sibley County, approximately 50 miles from the crime scenes. Bolter is accused of posing as a police officer, wearing a latex mask, and shooting the victims at their suburban Minneapolis homes. Early Saturday morning, Melissa Hortman, the top Democratic legislator in the State House, and her husband, Mark, were killed. State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, Yvette, were shot multiple times at their home but survived. Authorities recovered a target list from another vehicle used by the suspect, containing names of state Democratic politicians, including Governor Tim Walz and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Senator Amy Klobuchar told NBC News that the attack was clearly politically motivated. President Donald Trump called the incident a terrible thing. Police exchanged gunfire with Bolter at one scene before he fled on foot. The suspect's black sedan was found unoccupied, prompting a mobile alert to residents. Suspect not located. Keep your doors locked and vehicles secured. A cowboy hat similar to one Bolter was believed to be wearing was found nearby. Bolter's wife, Jenny, was briefly detained in a traffic stop with relatives but later released. The FBI has added Bolter to their most wanted list, offering a $50,000 reward, and the search has extended to South Dakota. Neighbors expressed shock, describing the Hortmans as very nice neighbors in a very quiet neighborhood. One resident noted, "You don't see police activity in this neighborhood. We are very shocked." The community is grappling with a suspected political assassination, with many reeling from the violence. Now let's look at the G7 summit, where global leaders gather amidst escalating tensions and complex diplomatic challenges. President Donald Trump arrived in Kananaskis, Alberta, for his first major summit of his second term. Other G7 leaders aim to mollify him, avoiding new rifts. Unity is uncertain regarding the intensifying Israel-Iran conflict, with Israeli strikes fueling regional war fears. Trump called for a ceasefire but supports Israel's defense. Macron urges de-escalation. Trump discussed the Middle East with Putin, not allies. Macron dismissed Putin as a mediator. Over a dozen world leaders joined Trump, seeking trade deals to avert new U.S. tariffs. The remote location offers a neutral setting. Leaders from Brazil, South Africa, India, South Korea, and Ukraine are present. Mexican President Sheinbaum seeks a new trade deal with host Carney. Carney balances resisting Trump's 51st state calls with avoiding flare-ups. Josh Lipsky of the Atlantic Council hopes for no real blow-ups. Trump historically picked fights at summits. His 2017 G20 appearance led to him being called a clown. A 2018 G7 photo showed him defiant, followed by his withdrawal from the joint communique and an angry tweet at Trudeau. This casts a long shadow. Despite past friction, current leaders play nice with Trump. Starmer, Maloney, Mertz, Macron, and Carney had successful meetings. The bloc maintains this approach. No joint communique is planned due to differences on climate change, AI, and women's empowerment. Statements on 6 subjects will be issued, excluding Ukraine. The U.S. will push for trade, energy exports, and AI development. Leaders also plan to reduce China dependency for critical minerals. Trump's 10% reciprocal tariffs loom with a July 9th deadline. Japanese PM Ishiba expressed caution, prioritizing Japan's interest over a quick deal. Now let's turn to the Middle East, where open hostilities between Israel and Iran have entered a 4th day, raising fears of a wider regional conflict. Israel-Iran conflict, day 4. Iran launched drones, missiles. Israel struck Tehran, killing official. Casualties, 224 Iranian, mostly civilians, 14 Israeli dead, 400 injured. Conflict began Friday. Israeli surprise attacks on Iranian military nuclear sites showed Israeli air superiority. Iran's response options limited. Proxies deterred. Trump, make a deal. Peace soon. But also, sometimes they have to fight it out. Netanyahu, Iran will pay. Defense Minister, Tehran a target. Israel hit sites, killed commanders, and scientists. Markets reacted. Saudi, Egypt, Qatar stocks down. Egyptian pound weakened. Israeli stocks up. Oil plus 2%. Dollar strengthened. U.S. equities slightly lower. Energy fears. Iran gas plant explosion. IAEA, damage to uranium facility. Iran threatened reduced cooperation. NPT withdrawal. Most serious conflict yet. Shadow war escalated after Hamas attack. Oak 2023. Israel aims to end Iran's nuclear bomb capability. Tehran denies. Israel urged Iranians to evacuate weapons sites. Netanyahu vowed to strike every target. Khamenei promised heavy price. Iran canceled U.S. nuclear talks. Conflict central at G7. Israel seeks G7 support for attacks. U.S. helped defend Israel, but no direct involvement in strikes. Western analysts, U.S. help needed for deep facilities. Leaders, ME, Putin, urge de-escalation. Germany, France, UK ready for nuclear talks. Unclear if Iran will attack Hormuz tankers, risks U.S. involvement. Analysts, unlikely due to Iran's weak economy. Before you go, tell us, what's your take on today's news? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it helpful. You're watching Finance Daily Reports, your source for global finance and politics. See you soon and have a nice day.